Buying a condo, at least here in Southern California anyway, but buying a condo has become more and more popular for many first-time home buyers, thanks to the rising home prices. But how do you do it? In other words, what do you need to be on the lookout for, or what do you need to be aware of when you are buying a condo? Hey, Jose here, your SoCal Realtor. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, don't hesitate to reach out. My team and we are here and ready to help you with your real estate needs. Oh, and real quick, be sure to stay into the end of the video because I do have a free gift that I would like to leave with you. So again, there's quite a few people that are looking to buy a condo here in Southern Calofornia, and why not? I mean, there's a number of different types of condos available. I mean, you have condos for first-time home buyers, you have condos for downsizers, and condos for everyone in between. But before you go and buy a condo, here are 6 things that you definitely need to be aware of first. First of all, you need to be aware that not all condo communities or complexes allow for every type of home loan to buy there.
Get out.
Meaning this, while it's one of the more popular home loans that's out there, that's available, many complexes won't allow you to buy there if you're using an FHA home loan. Of course, that raises the questions, well, then how do you know which ones won't allow it? If more than 50% of the units of condos in that community, in that complex, are not owner occupied, in other words, they're rented out, well, then you will not be able to purchase a condo in that complex using the FHA home loan. And before you say it, I already know what your next question is going to be. How am I supposed to know that? Your agent, or actually even your lender, will be able to get that information for you. But if that's not the case for you, if you're not using the FHA home loan, or maybe you find a complex that it doesn't mind, it accepts the FHA home loan, but the bottom line, you're good to go on the loan, and you find a complex, and you love the way the condos look in this complex, you love the location of the complex, and you're looking at it thinking, hey, I think this might be the one.
This is the one.
I would start by looking at the exterior of not just the condo that you're there to see, but I would look at the outside of some of the other units in that complex too. What kind of shape are they in? I would say like the roof up above. I would look at the roof on some of these units. Does it look a little old, a little worn out, a little rough around the edges? Or how about the outside walls on these units? The exterior walls, is it stucco? Is it wood? I mean, does it look a little bad? Do they have some bad spots that's like, man, how come they haven't taken care of that? Or what about gates or fences around the community? Or maybe even more specifically, right around the unit specifically itself that lead to the patio. Do they look kind of bad? They look a little old, maybe a little warped and sagging? The reason I would start by looking at things like that is because it kind of gives you a little bit of insight on just how well the complex takes care of, well, the complex. I'm sure when I say this, I'm not saying anything you're not already fully aware of, that everything on the inside of the walls, that's obviously your responsibility, but everything in the outside of the walls, typically speaking, that's going to be the responsibility of the complex or the HOA to maintain. And if the roof is in bad shape, or the outside walls, the exterior of the building, or gates or fences or whatever, yeah, it just might raise the question, why hasn't it been taken care of? Do they not care about it? Or are they just not able to? Do they not have the financial means to take care of it? And if that's the case, if they just can't take care of it, then I'd be starting to wonder, are they getting ready to raise those HOA dues, I don't know, a week after I move in? Quick word on that when it comes to the HOA dues, because that's something I have been asked multiple times, and that is, well, can they just raise those HOA dues? Yes, but with limits. Here in the state of California, current law does allow the HOA board to raise your HOA dues, but by no more than 20%. Now, if they do need more than 20%, they can. However, the board needs to get approval from all the homeowners. All the homeowners have to vote on it in order to do it. They need to get a majority vote for that. Of course, if they do raise the HOA dues too frequently, or maybe by too much, then I don't know, might be time to vote for new board members, because it doesn't seem like they're doing a very good job of managing the money. Now, once you do turn in your offer and it gets accepted, there are a few things that I would definitely do, such as, first of all, you better have it inspected. I only bring that up because recently I did have a client that's what they said to me is, they didn't think they needed to have an inspection because, well, the HOA takes care of everything. No. Remember, that's the outside of the condo. Everything on the inside of the condo, that's yours. That's your responsibility to maintain, to take care of. Now, keep in mind that you do have a contingency period that does allow for inspections, allows you to be able to inspect the condo, make sure everything's okay, or at least okay for you. And if not, or are there any major issues going on here? Because if there are, you you may want to walk away from this one. A contingency period is just simply put, it's the amount of time that you have to complete something, and in this case, the inspections. And if during that period, if you say, hey, you know what, this doesn't work, it's not going to work for me, you're still able to cancel the offer, cancel your purchase agreement, and get all of your deposit money back. If you don't complete that before the contingency period, or in this case, the inspection contingency period expires, if you do decide to cancel afterward, yeah, you could lose your deposit money. Now, something else I would be sure to review during the inspection contingency period, and that is all the disclosures and documents. And what documents? Well, I would start by reading the rules and regulations of the complex. These are going to be found in the CC&Rs, or covenants, conditions, and restrictions, but in here you'll find all the rules of the complex, and honestly, most are probably going to be pretty typical, pretty standard, such as restrictions with making any modifications or changes to the outside of the condo, rules for the common areas such as the swimming pools, gyms, clubhouses, so on. Also rules on the parking, meaning where your guests can park, as well as for how long they can park there. These are just a few examples of some more common or typical rules that you might find. Of course, there very well may be others, and the last thing you want is to get excited about your new condo. You've now moved in, and a couple months later, you end up finding out about some strange or not very common, but some sort of rule, some sort of regulation that had you known about it ahead of time, maybe you wouldn't have gone for it. Maybe you would have backed out and said, this isn't the complex for me. So just my word of caution is just make sure that during that inspection period, make sure that you do review those. I know, doesn't sound very exciting, but it's definitely better to find that kind of stuff out now. Actually, here's another one that you should find in those CC&Rs, and that is, are there any restrictions when it comes to renting out the condo?
And let the rent checks roll in.
While definitely not something that's very common, but there might be something in there, some sort of restriction on, I don't know, the lease terms that you're allowed to do with your tenants, or how many units in that complex is allowed to be rented out. I cannot tell you how many times someone buys a condo with no plans of renting it out. That is until 2, 3, 4 years later, whatever it is, but they decide, it's time to upsize. Let's get a bigger home, but let's do this. Let's hang on to the condo and keep it as a rental. As I just said, it may not be that exciting to read, but it's better to read those disclosures and documents and find that out now. Yeah, listen, condos are definitely a great option under the right circumstances. It's just that you want to make sure that you fully understand all the rules that do come with that complex. Oh, one last thing is that condos, they definitely appreciate in value. It's just that they don't appreciate in value as quickly in value as a single family residence or a house. You figure that home values, they're determined basically by supply and demand. And truth be told, there isn't the same level of demand for condos as there is for single family homes. I'm not saying that there's no demand, not at all, because there definitely is demand for condos. It's not the same level of demand. Hey, I'm glad you're still here because, as I mentioned earlier, I do have a free gift for you, and that's my free home buyer's guide. It's designed to help you with successfully buying your home, whether that's a single family residence, whether that's a condo, that doesn't matter. It's designed to help you with successfully purchasing your home. In other words, helping you take all the necessary steps to successfully purchasing your home. Go ahead and click on the link in the description section below to download your free guide. Of course, if you do have any questions, or maybe you are thinking about buying or selling a home herein, or just anywhere near the Inland Empire, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out. Otherwise, until then, catch you in the next one.